If you want to master your money, you've got to master your mind. Or rather, you've got to understand how to develop the right money mindset. I've read over 700 personal finance and self-improvement books, and there are some really good ones and some not very good ones. And when it comes to mindset, there are some really good books that should be in your library, and more importantly, that you should read. And in this short video, I'm going to highlight 3 really good books to help you develop your money mindset. Now, the first one is Your Money and Your Brain by Jason Zweig. Now, Jason Zweig is a US writer who's been around a long time. This is a brilliant book if you really want to understand the behavioural aspects of money and why we do the things we do and don't do the things we should do. And what Jason does is he really relates the whole issue of your money mindset around the key emotions that we experience. So there are the concepts of needing to feel control, the desire to feel safe, the fears that we have about getting older or not being able to control our lives. But he also talks about why we gamble, why we get addicted. He also covers the whole issue of why we don't understand risk properly, because our brain has developed at a much slower level to the world that we have around us. So quite a heavy duty book, and it is more of a reference kind of thing. But if you really want to get a deep dive and understand basically how your brain works and how it relates to money, this is a really good read, something you will keep going back to time and time again. Now, my next recommendation is a wonderful book called Open Up: The Power of Talking About Money by Alex Holder. Now, Alex Holder is not a finance expert. In fact, she's a writer who's been around for quite some time now, who writes for Elle, Cosmopolitan, The Guardian, etc. And this is just a wonderful book about the power of talking about money. And also she explores lots of issues about, for instance, social pressure that we feel with our friends. Why is it people get drawn into spending money they haven't got to go to, numerous number of stag or hen do's. She talks about the implications of a relationship, both when you form a relationship, the implications for getting it right at the beginning, to also how to actually extricate yourself from a relationship financially when it comes to an end. What's really great about this book is Alex interviewed quite a lot of people for it, some who are attributed and some who are anonymous. There's a brilliant bit in here where she says that people don't always fess up or acknowledge what they're spending their money on. And I've experienced that as a financial professional myself. But what's amazing is in chapter 12, she has a chapter called Alcohol, Cocaine and Other Vices. And what she talks about is that if people do want to take drugs or drink alcohol or have other vices, as she calls it, then they need to make a line entry in their spending plan or their budget and just acknowledge it. But if you are denying that you have something that you want to spend your money on that perhaps may not be seen by others as conducive to your happiness and fulfillment, it's a vice as it were, her view is she's not judging you, she's just saying be honest about it, otherwise your spending plan won't be right. And that's the first time I've ever seen that kind of honesty in a book. So a wonderful book by a non-finance expert. It's got a wonderful summary at the end of kind of how to think about, like, your checklist of things to think about, drawn on from financial experts, but really, really touches on the human side of money. Highly, highly recommended. And in fact, I interviewed Alex Holder on my Real Money Stories podcast, so you can check that out in the archive. Wonderful book by a wonderful lady. Now, my final recommendation for mindset, money and mindset, is actually a book called Mindset. Now, this is written by Dr. Carol Dwerk, and she is not a finance expert, but she's a psychologist. And this isn't actually specifically about money, but the key messages from the book and the key findings are absolutely vital when it comes to mastering your money. And very simply, what Carol says is there are 2 mindsets. There's fixed mindset and there is a growth mindset. And people who have a fixed mindset essentially believe that it's all about talent or luck. It's as simple as that. Whereas people with a growth mindset, they believe that they can learn skills that they don't have, and that if they have failures and setbacks, that's just something part and parcel of learning. And what they do is they develop a resilience to disappointments, obstacles, and challenges, and see that as a way forward to success. And also, if they do have failures and setbacks, they don't judge themselves and see that their identity is associated with that failure. So in other words, if you failed one way of running your money, it doesn't mean you're a failure. So an absolutely fantastic book. Can't recommend this highly enough. Just being aware of the fixed versus growth mindset, it won't just help you win with money, it will also help you win with any other area of your life. Absolutely highly recommended. So there we go, 3 great books. Check it out. If you like this video, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll never miss another video.